So I just had a notification saying YouTube's now showing vertical videos. But wasn't it doing it anyway? It's like you can do it on live and stuff, but wasn't it doing it anyway? So wasn't it doing it anyway? So I'm just testing it out. There's nothing happening here, but I do have something interesting, and I'm probably going to get a copyright because you can hear Bob Marley in the background. I have something super duper interesting coming for my Crypto Angles podcast and on Sunday. And of course, it's to do with Kate Middleton. And now she's supposedly got cancer. She didn't say what cancer though, but she supposedly got cancer. So yeah, this ain't gonna be long. I'm literally just testing this out. No one's joined me. It's so weird, the different lives, because on TikTok you'll just get random people joining you. Hey, hey. So I'm just testing this out. It's nothing, I'm not talking about anything really, because I had a notification saying YouTube's now doing vertical videos, and I'm like, wasn't it doing it anyway? But with this whole Kate Middleton having cancer, there's some interesting things that I'm going to be sharing on my Crypto Angles podcast on Sunday morning. So do check that out. I'm planning to go live. Oh, I'm planning to go live on TikTok, on my mommy TikTok tomorrow. I don't know about my main one, and I'm trying to go live on YouTube as well, but it all depends. But I'm literally just testing it out. um I don't know, Penelope, honestly, I don't know. I feel it's part of the show, of the main of the world, you know. I feel it's part of the show. And do let me know, do you hear the Bob Marley song a little bit too loud? Because um hey, oh wow, you're from Kenya. Yeah, do let me know if you hear that too loud, because interestingly enough, things that have come up, and I will show all the receipts on my Sunday morning video. I'll record it Saturday night, but Redemption song came up in correlation with Kate Middleton cancer in the gematria. So I'm just like, wow, I feel that there's an energy shift happening ultimately. And I do feel there are links to crypto, one in particular. So do stick around for that. But ultimately, beyond cryptocurrency, especially for those who aren't involved in it, I feel there is an energy shift taking place right now. And what happens is, usually on the world stage, an act happens. They will do it, they will distract people with the narrative of what's going on. But if you look at the coding, the the numerical coding of what's happening on the world stage, you will see the things that are being signaled. So it's like an energy shift is happening, something's happening in cryptocurrency. So it's like, while our attention is drawn to the Kate narrative of her being missing, it's like, oh my days, that's not her. Who is this? Blah blah blah. Um, Many people are just focused on that. Why? Because you've got a tench ion. Ions are your energies, your positive and negative polarities. So anything that has ion at the end of a word, it's literally drawing or grabbing your energy, your ions. And this is all that's happening with Kate Middleton at the end of the day. Is all about taking your energy, grabbing your attention, while something else is happening. But it's only through the gematria you can see things that are potentially happening, the potential timelines. So it's like, I don't believe she's got it. Personally, I don't. I even King Charles, whatever, I feel that they are actors on the world stage, and they come out at certain times. And oh my days, with the shit that I found, it even links to my calendar, full moons, certain full moons and things like that. I'm like, what are the coincidences that Kate Middleton having cancer links to some full moons that's in my calendar? Like, there's no coincidences. So all it is an act on the world stage for people, to those who yeah, for people to just have their attention away, and for those who know how to read it and how to see, they see what is actually coming. But I don't believe that she's got it, um because I've literally just posted a video on my TikTok. Check me out on TikTok, people. It's Kelita Sahliah with an 8 at the end. um I'm wearing like a bralette. That's my picture, not the one with yellow trousers, because I've been locked out of that account. So it's got an 8 at the end. But I've done a video, and it's just from her voice alone when she was talking. Like, you had so many people saying, "Where's Kate? That's not her. She was walking with, who was it? William or Harry? Will. Forgive me, I don't really know much of these names. But she was walking with him, and people were like, that's not her, because her neck was longer. She was also taller, blah, blah, compared to the real Kate. You even had Kim Kardashian looking for Kate. That was just so funny. So I posted that on my TikTok. But I just feel that it's just an act on the world stage. The way she was literally reading the script in that video that I shared, she was literally reading a script. And I don't know, it's like, if it has happened, because of course I've known people who have passed away from cancer. Like, it's a deadly thing, you know what I'm saying? It really is. But it's kind of like, if it was a real thing, why is a whole script being read? It's like, I sensed sadness from her video, and not sadness of, oh my days, I've got cancer, but sadness of control. That is what I sensed from her video. Just control. So it's like, I don't believe it's real. I do not at all. Lovely to know that someone's coming from Kenya. Oh, it's not too loud. Okay. Um, that's good. Yeah, like, it just it just seemed suspect to me. It really did. Like, it was like, okay, we've taken you out. We've taken you out. Many people are questioning it. So because so many people are questioning it, they've put her back on front scene saying, oh my days, I've got cancer. I don't know if she said what type of cancer it is. I'm not quite sure, but I do find it interesting being part of the royal family, because she wasn't like, when she got married, she was more welcomed. It wasn't like Meghan Markle, that's her name, isn't it? It wasn't like Meggle. I've combined the two names, but it wasn't like her, where the queen just despised her and everyone just didn't want her. She was more welcomed. And then obviously, um all of a sudden, this has happened. So it's just like, it's control. It's kind of just like, okay, it's your time to say something now on the world stage so people know. So you're gonna have a whole bunch of people who will be like, oh my days, she has cancer. I feel sorry for her, as she mentioned in her video, like for her children, and explaining it and things of that nature. um Many people will step away, but then you're gonna get the fragment of people who are questioning, because the video just looks staged. That's the best way I can put it. You're a fan. Who are you a fan of? Meghan Markle, or I was about to say Princess Diana. Are you a fan of Princess Diana? She's probably like the best. um, or Kate, who we're obviously talking about. Who are you a fan of? Um, but yeah, again, the lack of details. They're silencing her. They really are. So it's like, yeah, it's the best way I can say is that didn't seem like her voice. It didn't seem like her voice. Could this be a potential of like a repeat of what Princess Diana? Because what year did she pass away? I'm trying to remember. I was definitely born. I was born 1994, so I'm sure it was after that. Does anyone know the date that she passed away? But obviously, Princess Diana, she wasn't interested in any of that. Oh, they're a fan of me. Well, thank you. Thank you. But Princess Diana wasn't a fan of that, and it's like I know Kate was doing what she was doing, but could she have reached a point where she was just like, no, just no? So because she's just said no to it, she was kind of pushed aside, she was hidden, um, and things of that nature. And because she was pushed aside, but she's still in this contract. Because, of course, if you're in that position, you're not going to be there for no reason. There's certain contracts. So, this whole story is created. You've also got the potential extra baby mama. 1997, possibly, possibly because I was 1994, but it's like I have a vague memory of it, and like of my mom speaking about it and things like that. So it's very vague for me. And she seemed thin. You're right, she was very thin. I'm just like, what's going on? I'll be honest, I don't really watch them that much, but of course I've seen many clips and things of that nature, many videos. But I feel it's an act on the world stage to just keep you distracted from something. And it's like many people were questioning. So they've thrown the narrative of cancer out there. So it's like, oh, she's got cancer. That's understandable why she was so quiet, blah, blah. But that doesn't explain why there was another person walking with her man who clearly wasn't her. Her man, her husband. It doesn't explain that. So if you have watched my latest video, it's 1 o'clock time for me. But if you have watched my latest video, my crypto angles video, if you don't want to watch the whole video, check out my um threads on Instagram. Just find my Instagram. It's literally Kelita Sahliah. I look like a goddess in the picture. And my threads is connected. And I'd show all of the dramatic connections if you don't want to watch the video, if you're not interested in crypto like that. But do watch my last video, because when this whole, like, a lot of attention and noise was happening with Kate, so I was like, what's going on? There's another message there. And the cryptocurrency that popped up is XRP, and it has popped up again in her having cancer. So yeah. That's just, it's just interesting. And yeah, it wasn't William. And this is the thing, these people aren't even real. This isn't even straight. Sorry, my bed behind me is a mess. But these people aren't real. They're not real. They are there to act on the world stage. Like, for all we know, they're they do what they need to do in the public, and then they change their identity and live their life. Some could be a clone, some could be whatever, stunt doubles. I don't know at this point, but the only thing I do know is when such a big act has happened on the world stage, it's literally because they are taking your ions, which is your energy. They just want your energy. They don't care about anything else. I know, like, we can be so focused on money. Like, we need money because it's like that allows more freedom, not even in a material sense, but just to allow more freedom without the stresses of worrying about money. But they don't even want that, because money to them is technically irrelevant. It's our energy, literally our energy, our toroidal field, and the energy we give out is more valuable than any currency that exists in our realm. So whether that's coins, paper IOUs, digital money in your bank, cryptocurrency, it's all irrelevant. They really don't care on the higher level. They take that when they can. They do, because money is only energy at the end of the day. They just take it. But it's kind of like, from this, crypto's doing the most right now. It is. And they're just distracting your energy because that's what they want. Like, I don't know, kind of like a conspiracy theory, but I feel, along with all of the old technology that surrounds our realm, even right now, but a lot of them have been destroyed and dismantled. I feel our own energies of the collective also helped that, and that was our supply, our own energy amplified by the old structures, the old buildings, antiquitech basically, and then that supported us. So this is why I feel they're just taking our energy, and they do that through attention, ion your attention. And of course, right now, it's Kate Middleton. Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian, like one of her recent posts, she's just like going to look for Kate. It's like, now that's just hilarious because she's a pawn in the game anyway. So she's also adding to that narrative of where's Kate? That's not really her. Um, just where's Kate? You know? But I do find that whole video was suspicious. All of this stuff is suspicious. And I saw a TikTok. I saw a TikTok of a guy. Did I save it? I don't know, but he was talking about the BBC News, and I don't watch the news, but he pointed out the fact that it said a lot like allegedly, and what was another term? I can't remember the other term, but one was allegedly. Now, if it's alleged, it's not a fact. And when it came to the Kate story, um there was a lot of these terms being used, so it's like they don't even know the fact, they're just saying, oh, allegedly, blah blah blah. So yeah, obviously the whole media, mainstream media, is bullshit anyway. They are just simply directing you in a certain stream. That's all they're doing. They want you in a certain stream of frequency, and that's that, where's my thing? So that's kind of like my perspective on this. It's like there's some interesting connections coming up, so make sure you stick around for the video coming out on Sunday morning. But it's all a distraction, and I feel they do this meticulously because it's such a sensitive illness. As I says, I have had close ones pass away from cancer. I've had that. So it's not a joke like that. Yeah, I feel that because we know the world stage is just all an act, it's kind of like them planting the picture or painting the picture, not planting, of them having cancer, her as well as King Charles. It's like anyone kind of talking about it and questioning it, that can easily be shut down. How dare you speak about that? Because blah blah blah, because it's a sensitive topic. It really is, and it isn't a joke. Yet when it comes to the world stage, they do absolutely all that they need to motherfucking do to get your attention. They say lies and everything, even when it comes to the life of a soul. People on the world stage, I don't even know anymore. They just change character. They literally just change character. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And we give our ions again, pouring into this narrative of, oh my days, she's got cancer. I feel sorry for her children, her family, because in a standard everyday person, it's sad. It's really sad, and I wish like health on everybody and recovery. um yeah, it's like people on the world stage, when they do it, I don't know. And this is where, though it can be a sad thing, I'm not giving my attention ion to it in that way, or my energy in it that way, of feeling sad, feeling like, oh my days, I feel sorry for her. Like, I don't. And I don't want to sound insensitive, and I feel this is where the battle comes. When people start questioning, they can come across as insensitive when they're just questioning the act on the world stage. But yeah, like, I'm glad as well. Like, it's comforting because, as I says, when I see these things and I say my opinion, and I'm just like, I hope I'm not insensitive saying this, but I'm questioning it, you know? I am questioning it, and I do not believe that she has cancer. She was reading a motherfucking script. Like, she's reading a fucking script. At the end of the day, I need to burp. confirmation burp that she was reading a script. Like, just look at her. She looked dead inside. She looked slim. And people may say, oh, it's the cancer, that's why, blah, blah. Like, I don't watch the news like that unless it pops up on TikTok, to be honest. So I don't know if that exact clip that I shared, it was from the Shade Borough. I don't know if that clip has been presented on the news, but I feel for a certain bandwidth of people. Now I'm not gonna say just the elderly people, but it may be majority them, but a certain bandwidth of people who only comprehend what they see from the news. They only believe what is said from the news. They would just look at that. They probably wouldn't even notice the fact that it was scripted and that she's literally reading something. You know how news people just read going across. They probably didn't even comprehend that. They're just like, oh my days, she's obviously slim because she's got cancer, and she's sad, her children. But it's all bullshit. It's literally bullshit. Um, it was robotic. Exactly. It was honestly robotic. There was no emotion. And that's where I was coming from. I'm like, if this was really happening, it would come from the heart. And yes, you're going to feel sad if you've developed cancer. Like, I can't imagine what it would feel like for someone who is told that they've got cancer, especially if it's at certain stages. I can't comprehend that because that's not happened to me. But it's happened to people in my family, and it's horrible. It's not nice at all. So this is where it's like, this just seems robotic. Exactly as you said, Penelope, just no emotion. Like, she didn't even say um what type of cancer, but she did obviously say, oh, we're trying to keep it private because blah 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 blah. So fair enough. I get that aspect of trying to keep it private. Yet it's like, for someone of that status, especially if you come out with that, and the whole world, or most of the world, is saying, where's Kate, where's Kate, where's Kate Middleton, you know to kind of say what cancer. She did say it came from the surgery. But yeah, it was literally just like, oh, from the surgery that I had, she developed cancer and blah blah blah. But I feel like, imagine, let's paint the picture. She's disappeared. She's disappeared. Loads of people like, where's Kate? Where's Kate? Where is she? It's like, okay, come back on scene now. Come back on scene. It's your time. Say this. Say this. So they know. The world is a motherfucking stage. It's a stage. And we have our own stages for us to perform how we would like. But you've got the world stage. And these people are operating on the world stage, but I'm going to bring it lower than my head because they're down here, not up here, they're down here. But it's like, they operate on the world stage all to get your attention ion, all to get your attention ion. But as I said, with the Gematria connections that came out that I found, and I can't share it in this live because no, it's literally on my phone, so I can't even look. But you've had turning point. That's something I remember. So obviously everything in our hologram, our realm, is vibrational frequency. Do give a like on the live as well, people, if you haven't already. Help your girl out. But everything in our realm is vibrational frequency, and things of that nature is vibration. And turning point came in, higher frequencies came in as well. I will show this, as I said, in my video on Sunday on YouTube. Um, but higher frequencies came in. You had Goodbye Evil, but you also had, oh, I'm trying to remember. You had that, you like, when it comes to gematria, all it is showing the relationship things have with each other. So it shows a whole spectrum. So it's not all good, it's not all bad. You're gonna get the whole spectrum of everything. And basically you had people no longer thinking, like even less thinking, that people are doing more, and people more like questioning even more. So again, I feel with potentially heard of a lot of splitting happening at this point, splitting of timelines and things of that nature. And I feel that this is adding to that when it comes to the world stage. There will be a noticeable split of three three free thinkers and sheep, putting it in the most respectful way possible, but those who simply just follow the programming and those who follow their own spiral. So that's what I feel it is. I feel we are in, not I feel, we are in the year of the dragon. This is the rising of the phoenix energy. So there will naturally on the world stage be a lot of fire symbolism, and it already begun in 2023 with the Maui fires. We then had Chile and blah blah blah. So if more fires happen, this is the phoenix rising. It's basically the phoenix rising. So I feel her act on the world stage is literally coming in at a mathematical point. Like, it's a mathematical point, and I feel it's also important to not even be angry, to not be angry at what these people do, because they're just following their own programming, which is part of the entire hologram. And their act on the world stage then creates a chain reaction to open up energetic pathways for more to come in. And I feel Kate, as well as her father in law, Charles, King Charles, having cancer, the two of them, has been an energetic portal in this. And this is just the royal family, but it's much more. It's also um it's everything. So the Chile fires, the Maui fires, the Ocean Gate submarine sinking, the, I am telling you right now, that motherfucker, but there is not real. Even her, it was an energetic opening. So it's like when it comes to these things on the world stage, I feel this is the most important aspect to know. Observe it, what's happening. And if you want to look deeper, use gematria, use numerology, or anything you feel inclined to use, but ultimately maintain your own energy. Yeah, don't give it too much attention. um yeah, like, it's the sheep. You're gonna have sheep at the end of the day. um and I feel they're there to keep the illusion of the hologram running. Like, that's it. And it falls down to comments on your videos. You get some people, it's just like, oh my days, why the fuck are you even commenting that? It's like, if you really disagree with something or don't like something, you just walk away, you know. But you've got these people who are sheep, who are bots, who are just there. They're smiths in the matrix to keep the illusion alive. That's literally it. And I feel we have battled so long feeling discouraged by these people to, which may at some point caused us to stop speaking or to question what we're saying and things of that nature. But it's just like, at this point, if these things come along, it's a sign you're on the right path. So just keep going, because they're just there to keep the hologram running. That's literally their purpose. All these bots, all these smiths, all these acts on the world stage is there to keep the hologram running. Nothing else, nothing more. Again, with the lady on the plane, the amount of stuff that came up with that. And no coincidence is that it literally linked directly to cryptocurrency. And I'm sure it was XRP again. XRP again. This was just before they won an aspect in the lawsuits, and then all of a sudden they won and it spiked up to 80 cents before the lady on the plane. Oh gosh. So um yeah, so keep your energy to yourself. That's the best I can say. Keep your energy to yourself, observe, know what's happening, have your own thoughts and even analysis of it. But I feel it's when you get too distracted and too caught up, because the amount of people, um, yeah, just don't get too caught up in what happens on the world stage. Basically, just know what's happening, observe, and then that's it. But a lot's going on, and I feel this is the beginning, because oh my days, the new year has just begun. The new year has officially just begun. The spring equinox confirmation. And again, another one. If you've watched my videos, I'm like, confirmation, but this is how I look when I'm doing it. But the spring equinox has just begun. So the new year has officially begun. Look, in my calendar, which finishes in March and the next one begins in April, is showing backwards possibly, but spring equinox was on the 20th. So, as well as when the sun entered Pisces, okay, on the 12th. So, we are still in Pisces season. It's not Aries yet. Pisces is the water. We get birthed through the water, just like as we come through our mother's birthing canal before the fire element kicks in, which is Aries, which begins in April. April, the looking at the new calendar, April, when does the sun go into April? Sun go into April, sun go into Aries on the 18th. It is showing backwards, but the sun goes into Aries according to the visible sky on the 18th. So point being, we are in the new year officially. You know, obviously how you've got the Gregorian calendar and the Gregorian calendar, which starts in the middle of a season in January, saying, yay, happy new year, celebrate. And no gas. I generally feel we should be allowed to sign off on latest the 24th of December up until spring. Sign off, hibernate. You don't need to work, just rest. But point being, anyway, we're in the new year. So it's kind of like that. January to February was kind of like a haze. It's kind of like, it's like the ending. But now the new year has begun. Even more is just happening. Um, Even more is just happening on the world stage to grab your attention for the whole rest of the year. So yeah, it's the new year, so things are gonna start fully happening now. The year of the dragon is fully embedded in our society. It really is. So yeah, it's here. Um, and this has happened for no reason. We are in the year of the dragon. The phoenix is rising. Pluto is in Capricorn according to the sky, not mainstream astrology, which is saying it's in Aquarius. It's not in Aquarius. So we are focusing on foundations. We are transforming through foundations, which is Capricorn, and Pluto is transformation. So the old needs to be teared away. This represents and goes in alignment with the phoenix rising from the ashes, year of the dragon 2024. The old needs to be teared down. So a lot of chaos may happen and begin at the beginning of the true new year, which is when life begins to spring back up again in spring. So if shit gets weird, part infinity, so is why if shit just gets even more weird at the beginning of this true new year, it's because the old needs to be teared away. Pluto is in Capricorn until 2038 before it almost retrogrades, but it's officially in it at the end of 2039 going into 2040. um no, it officially exits it. Sorry, it officially exits it. So we've got till from now up until 2038. And of course, the beginning is about laying these foundations, ripping away the old so the new can come in. So yeah, we've already saw a disruption in the schooling system when the schools shut down, and many people are like, oh my days, I'm not sending my child back to school. You've also had teachers, the end of last year was about September, October last year, you had teachers receiving emails, and you also had some test lockdowns of schools being locked down, and parents cannot get access to their child. Teachers received emails of this as well, saying if your child's locked down in school because of whatever potential threat, you can't even come in. There's also bills and laws to be passed that they can give them whatever medication necessary whilst they are locked down. But that was a test run, and it happened in Leeds. And ironically, when that happened, my daughter refused. She flat right refused to go to nursery. She was meant to finish September this year. She was meant to finish September this year, but it's like when that stuff happened, and of course she was 3 at the time. I wasn't telling her like, oh, you're not going to nursery. It was, she was used to it. And all of a sudden she's just like, no, no. When walking there, we don't live too far from the nursery, but when walking there, she'd literally refuse to cross the road, and it took ages just to get her to nursery. All around the time when these threats were coming out, and I feel that that was a test run. It was a test run. That could be something they throw out. I don't know if it will be, but it could be. But the education system is failing. The health system, we know that's failing. The economic system is motherfucking failing. Like, what's going on? And things of that nature. It's because Pluto's in Capricorn. The old foundations need to be slapped away and crumbled. So this is why chaos may happen. But when that chaos happens, this is when the dragon energy, year of the dragon, then rises from the ashes as the phoenix that it is. Yeah. So yeah, shit may get weird, part infinity, in 2024, now that the new year has officially begun in spring. But maintain your energy. I feel it will just be so chaotic. They're going to be throwing things left, right, and center, and only draw your attention to things that your attention is drawn to. Don't like fall into unnecessary stuff. I feel if you're drawn to an aspect, it's for a reason. Like, I don't pay attention to much shit, but with this Kate Middleton story, I was drawn to it to look at the gematria, and then I noticed there's a turning point, an energetic turning point, links to cryptocurrency and so many other things as well. So trust yourself in all of this. Just don't get too caught up in it. Just don't get too caught up in it. Know what you need to know and continue doing what you need to do, because I feel our role right now is the most important role. When the world is chaotic, they need people who stand firm. And we are the people who stand firm in what we know. Um, yeah, like they won't know where to turn. They'll be like, oh, oh, oh. And this is where I fall into the perspective of, especially if you've been feeling like, oh my days, life has been so restricting. But when it's been restricting and just so hard and things like that, but you're still showing up, you're still being consistent, doing what you need to do, it's all just being the training ground to show that you can do it. And it's like, in continuing to do what you needed to do, to show up, to give your wisdom in your own way, which helps people expand their awareness in any area, it's going to be needed this year. Like, I generally feel that it's going to be needed. When the world is chaotic, they are going to need the people who were brave enough to step out and talk their truth, what they needed to say, you know? So even if you felt like not a lot of people saw you or heard you or things like that, that was simply the training ground. And I feel now we're ready. You're ready. I'm ready. We're ready. We're basically ready to be there for those who feel lost and need it. And I do feel religion is going to play a big role as well, because in feeling lost and the religious perspective is presented, many people will draw to that. And I do feel there will be a big, um let's say balance. I don't want to say balance, but a big Islam and Christianity. Um, so if something comes up with them two against each other on the world stage, pay attention. I don't subscribe to religion. I don't personally. I've already done had my journey, and it's just not for me. However, when chaos happens in the world, and that has been implanted for decades, centuries, when people feel lost, they may run to it. Um, and that's their journey. For them business, it's all right. That's their journey. Some people may find their home there. Some people may go there and then feel, no, this isn't for me. But it's everyone's journey. And at the end of the day, it's just about accepting people to do what they need to do. The only thing I do not like when it comes to religion or anything, not even just religions, any perspective people are throwing out there when they say you need to do this. No, you don't. You don't need to do anything. You do not need to look at astrology. You don't need to look at astrology. You don't need to look at the sky. You don't need to look at cryptocurrency. You don't need to look at gematria, numerology. You don't need to look at any of them things. Everything is a tool, nothing more, nothing less. So which tool are you using? Is that going to be religion? Is that going to be an actual physical tool so you can build a home? That's probably the best thing. So you can build a home, build land, plant your own food. That's probably the best tool ever, you know? But everything is a tool. So it's like within all this chaos, as I come to a close, because this was just meant to be a test. I was just testing the YouTube notification, but it's gone quite well. Um, but in all of this, and in all that happens, all the chaos that comes through on the world stage in 2024, pay attention to if it's creating fear. If it's creating fear, wipe it away. That's not what is needed. It's not what is needed. So use that as a sign. Use that as a sign. If they are fearing you into it, creating fear mongering, saying this is what you need to do, blah, 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 that's probably the biggest sign to say, oh, it's not for me. I'm okay. Thank you. Use that as the biggest sign. Like, because what's there to be fearful of? There's nothing to be fearful of. I feel the hologram is hologramming. The hologram is literally homogramming, hologramming. Is playing out the code that we as a collective mind have chosen to live out. That's it. So there's no fear necessary. And this is another thing. There's only one player in this game called life, in this matrix. It's not even a game. In this play called life, there's only one player. There's only one player, and this one player has fractalized into all of our individual selves. So I am you, you are me. We are the same. We are the player, and there's only one. So just play, you know? Don't subscribe to fear at all. Fear creates division and separation. And when that separation comes in, you recognize that you are no longer part of the one player, which is what we all are. And if you don't like the word one player, you can use God, you can use source, vibrational frequency. It's one frequency, which is 0 point frequency, which fractalizes into the entire play or game that we have. So this is why no fear, no need for division. It's observing the beauty of yourself from another angle of the player. That's literally all it is. So this is why I don't subscribe when people say you need to do this, otherwise you're gonna go to hell, you blah blah blah. You need to sit and meditate for however many hours a day. You need to blah blah. No, no, you really don't. Just play. Just play. Um, thank you, Penelope, for joining. Thank you. Um, I am going to end this soon anyway. Thank you everyone for joining me. As I said, this was just a test thing, but I do feel gems were spat out here. Um, do make sure I was meant to actually go live tomorrow to talk about the arugia. I've said it wrong. Let me just check how to pronounce this. So it's at the back of this calendar. So obviously, because the calendar uses the sky. No, it's not even here. It's not here because it was only the moon, not a major thing that went into it. But Arugia, Auriga, Aruga. Um, the moon entered it anyway. The moon literally entered it last Sunday, and I says, pay attention to what happens last Sunday. So what happened to you last Sunday? Because the moon was on the cusp of Arugia and Gemini, and Arugia was like the herder of goats, the herder of animals, basically, the trainer of animals. And of course, Gemini is all about energy exchange and communication. So I says, pay attention to what came up for you last Sunday. And I'm going to go live and talk about it ideally tomorrow about what happened. We are testing the theory of the stars because, of course, it's all theoretical. We have been taught so many years, century, not century, probably like a century or definitely decades of the mainstream tropical zodiac signs, the certain dates and things of that nature, but that hasn't been in alignment with the sky. They only recognize 12 constellations, but the luminaries jump into extra. As you can see, we've got Cetus, Aquila, Scutum, and Sextans, but the one I'm talking about right now is Arugia. I can't say it. There's literally a video on my YouTube where I says Arugia moon. I pronounced it right in my video, but it's gone out my head now. um, but there's just so much more, and I just feel they have kept us in a loop. They've kept us in a loop and separate from nature, the sky, and the earth. I feel we have done as a collective quite a lot of connecting back to the earth, putting our feet on the earth, being in nature, and things of that nature. But now it's the opposite connection, as below with the 6, as above with the 9. Now we are connecting with the as above because I feel we've done enough with the as below. So this is where it's just like this Arugian moon. What happened last Sunday? What was your thoughts, your feelings? How did you feel about a specific topic, something that's coming up in your life? Because based on how you want to continue to exchange and give your energy and to communicate and things of that nature. So we will talk about more of that in my live tomorrow. I'm going to aim to go live. I don't know what time, but I will premiere it. So there you can have a notification and of course watch it a little bit later. It will be on YouTube forever. I'm not going to put this on my Patreon. I do have a Patreon, by the way, so do check out what's coming out on the 1st of April, starting this new calendar. Like, people, I'm so happy. I have been consistent. I've consistently shown up every single motherfucking cycle. I don't want to say week, but it's basically the same thing. But every cycle since I started, a little bit before this calendar, starting 2023 to 2024, and now we're literally starting April because this is when it starts. Okay, so there's going to be a video on the 1st of April 2024 on how the luminaries support you throughout the whole of April. It's only in these videos where I synchronize every single luminary where its current position is in alignment with the transits that's happening for the whole month. So that will be on YouTube on the 1st of April. But it will only be there for 48 hours and then it will be on my Patreon after that. So if you want to go back to it and things of that nature, join me over on Patreon. It is donation based, so depending on what you choose to donate, that's absolutely fine. all tiers, no matter what you choose, will have access to all the information. And not only how the luminaries support you for the whole month, we're going to take a deeper look into the moons as well, using gematria and the periodic table. So, some exciting things coming. Um, and much more. There's a couple other things. So one, I'm going to keep quiet until it's 100% ready, which will be soon. But the other one, we are going to go into all of the luminaries. So all of them, all of the star constellations, so all of these, and we're going to get a deeper perspective looking at the symbology, its meaning, and things of that nature. So when it comes to when I am giving my energy updates every Thursday, you can always cross-reference to the videos, so like, okay, Sagittarius is talking about that, blah blah is talking about that, and things of that nature. So it will be like a whole playlist and catalog that you can go back to. So all of them things to come. But thank you for those who have joined me. Like I said, this was just a test, and I've done been talking for 50 motherfucking minutes. 50 minutes I've been talking. I was just testing it out. I swear, this is how YouTube gets you to do it. It's basically the same thing, but they're like, test this out. It's exactly the same. But thank you for joining me. Honestly, um, with this whole Kate Middleton shit, just keep your energy. Keep your energy. But do join me, please, for my live tomorrow. I'm aiming to go live, but I've got a shit ton of things to do, but I am aiming to go live. But definitely check out my Crypto Angles podcast, where I will share all of the Gematria connections that Kate Middleton and her cancer links to. But thank you for those who joined me live. Anyone who watches this a bit later, thank you. Oh, just do grab this as we're going into this year, starting in April. There is a 10% discount if you type in Lumin 10 at checkout on Etsy. It's also available on my TikTok shop, but the discount is on Etsy. I do give birth chart readings in alignment with the visible sky as well. When I do the information, it will be tagged below. I didn't do it yet because this was just a test. So do come back to this tomorrow and it will be in the description. But thank you so much for joining me. I'm definitely going to get a copyright because Bob Marley has been singing throughout the whole time. But honestly, thank you and I'll catch you soon. But with that being said, Angel out. Bye.